What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moneyline Media. I hope you guys are having an absolutely marvelous Monday, and I hope you are having an absolutely wonderful last week of January. I think
Last week.
last week of January, which means we've ridden the wave. We made it to the first month of 2020.
We have.
Oh, sorry,
2021.
Yes,
But yes,
Lord have mercy.
did
on us
it.
both.
we
So-
did it.
Oh, wait a minute. This is not Welcome to Moneyline Media. I apologize. Welcome to Off the Glass, presented by Moneyline Media. Let's get
Right.
it together around here, damn it. So, big things in the National Basketball Association this week. Not really, but some big games. Some
Good games. Some good
some things
games.
are moving around. The New York Knicks are the most profitable team in the NBA from gambling perspective.
Yeah, they fucked me last time, I'm not gonna lie. They gave
They-
me the first time I ever bet the under on them and I lost. So it's been a good run.
But profitable.
But profitable. Yeah, it's been
They did cover the spread. I think they've covered the spread in just about every game this year.
unless they're favorites. Yes.
Which I think even in the times they were favored, I think they covered twice this year as favorites because they beat.
Yeah, but they also they didn't like. I remember the first time they were favored,
Yeah.
they lost. But yeah, no, 100%. And just like the Knicks
Profitable.
cover the spread, the Nets absolutely destroy the spread and do not cover it. But I tell you this every time, I'm like, because James, I go to James for like college basketball stuff, and
Yeah.
James, I feel like you asked me a little bit more about like
Loyola Chicago.
like
minus-
NBA.
Take them tonight.
Yeah, like the NBA, you kind of come to me.
I do.
And I always tell you anytime you bet on the Nets, don't ever bet on the Nets if they're favored, because
Well,
there we go.
I took them again tonight in a parlay money line, the heavy money line favorites. So
Okay.
hopefully they just win the game. They gave me a
It's
little
tough.
bit. They scared the crap out of me last game.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously offensively probably one of the best offensive teams we're gonna see in our lifetime, but that
Give 'em- Yeah. Listen, Kyrie Irving is playing basketball.
he's playing basketball. Yeah.
There was a slight glimpse. I think it was his first game back. Kevin Durant was on the floor.
Mhm.
James Harden was not. And Kyrie was passing the ball, driving to the paint,
Yep.
hitting outside shots. This was all, and he was rebounding, playing defense.
Yeah.
And this was all in like a 3-minute span. And I was like, this is the Kyrie Irving the Nets need.
Well, I
all
think
the
yeah. Well, I agree with you on that. Like, I totally agree with you on yes. He is exactly what the Nets need. He's playing well. I think the big three is playing very well. James Harden, for the first time that I've seen him, and I've never been like a James Harden fan, but the first time I saw him, like in a Nets uniform, he really is looking to facilitate. I think Joe Harris also fits that group. When he plays well, they win.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. It's you don't know what to expect from the Nets. They are still getting accustomed to each other. You know what I mean? So they're still getting accustomed to each other. They had a lot of moves also in the offseason, like signing people like Landry Shamet, Bruce Brown, didn't play. And, Spencer Dinwiddie, who spent a lot of time playing as an intro, they're still getting accustomed to each other.
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
Yeah, 76ers are in first place in the East. I think the East is so out of control this year that you just don't know where it's going. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we can all agree that, what was it, Brent Brown, who was the coach of the 76ers and got fired last year, and now
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers is taking over, and Doc Rivers, has had that thing about like, oh, he's a overrated coach. He's this, he's that, and he's taking this team and he's making them his own, and they're playing well. I think that Ben Simmons is gone though. I think they got to get rid of him.
She's trash.
They got too many.
How many years? This is what I hate about the 76ers. How many years do you give these guys?
Like give them to develop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be great in like the '90s era.
Who?
Ben Simmons.
Oh, yes.
It's just he doesn't. You can't be a point
I
guard
don't
without
know
him.
though. I think he would be too soft for the '90s era.
I don't know. He's got, he's
Play
great with
style, yeah.
steals. He is averaging 8.1 assists
Good
per
point.
game. So
By the way,
like
Toronto climbing their way up to the records, climbing their way up to the division now. They're at
they
the
are,
ninth.
they are. They're getting themselves together.
They're still behind the
Um,
Knicks. The Knicks are an 8 seed. What the hell is happening?
They are an 8 seed. The Knicks.
Shocking.
Best division actually right now is that Knicks division. Nets, the Knicks, the Nets, the Celtics, and the 76ers.
Yes.
We're very good division. Cleveland.
Playing ball, baby. We're playing ball.
Cleveland's playing ball too. Let's give it up for them. 500.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have to get rid of a couple of their big men before the trade deadline. I don't know if Andre Drummond's done, but he might be.
Yeah.
JaVale McGee's definitely done. They have a younger guy in Jared Allen who can perform for them, and I think that
Yeah, where'd they get him from? Actually, he's a good ball player.
He's a great ball player. Yeah, listen, I'm a big
Sorry, I had to.
big Jared Allen fan.
He destroyed the Nets the other night.
Yep,
Like,
he's
he was
great.
there
He's
with a
great,
vengeance.
great defender. You know, he's a great player. He really is a good player.
Mhm.
Even Tyrone Prince killed him, and I think it's, even as a Nets fan, I don't want to ever see the Nets lose, but it was good to see those guys win because they were so good. You know,
I think any game against the Nets this year is a night where you just have to run up your points.
it is.
Their defense is
Because
so bad.
Because you're not going to win on the defensive end against the Nets.
No, you're not.
You're not. I mean,
You gotta outscore them.
What?
You gotta outscore them.
Exactly.
Which isn't that hard.
No, because of the defense.
There's no defense.
I mean, DeAndre Jordan is a liability on defense.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite have the move. He's not who he used to be, which is understandable. I do think that he's playing harder now that the other three are there and playing. When they're on the court and he's on the court with them, he plays very hard. I will say that. But the East isn't that good.
Big fan of the Nets now. I really am. They've only cost me like $7,000 since the beginning of the year, but whatever. That's
I mean, I think they'll get it together. Boston Celtics, another team.
Together tonight. Where are all the Heat's players?
I think a lot of them are injured.
Are they? Because I'm looking at I'm like, where the hell is everybody?
Yeah, which also is scary to think that the Nets barely beat them. Though I love Duncan Robinson.
Bam Adebayo had a game.
Yeah. Well, again, another for sure bet is any big man that goes against the Nets.
Yeah.
Go on their over because they're always going to score it. They just don't have
They're going to out rebound. They're going to out rebound as well. So
out rebound, exactly. I mean, it's tough. It's tough for the Nets had been rebounded pretty well earlier in that game, but then towards the end, it happens.
I feel like that would happen with a team like that, like where they bring so much energy to start the game.
Right,
and then it fizzles out towards the end. Their offense will never fizzle out because they're shooters. But
exactly.
On the things that you don't pay attention to, the small defensive things, drawing charges, things that you have to like really bring extra energy for.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that fizzles out with them throughout the game. Rebounding, extra defense, drawing.
Yeah, no, it depends, and it depends on who's on the court.
Yeah.
Also, we have to understand, like, yes, they have all these great players, but they have a first-year coach. It's an interesting dynamic. He's learning too. It's a lot of learning. Bucks seem to be kind of getting it together a little bit. They are 10-6 right now. Chris Middleton is averaging over 21 points a game. He is obviously the X factor in that. Drew Holiday, 16.1. They have 6 guys that are averaging double digits. And that 6 guys, 6 guys, 1, 2, 3, that are averaging double digits for you. That's big to know, especially since I think one of their weak points last year was the Bucks bench. and to have your
I
your
don't. I don't talk about the Buccaneers. I don't talk about the Bucks. The Buccaneers. The Bucks
Bucks.
anymore.
What?
I don't talk about them anymore because it's like
They're
you're
off and
useless to
on.
me. You're useless to me because you know what? During the regular season, you're minus $500 favorites in any game,
Yeah.
and then come the postseason, all I do is bet whatever team is playing you.
Yeah. But I think it's also important to notice, like now that they do have that bench, that could make a big difference for them. Drew Holiday is also a great. They did improve. I like Eric Bledsoe, but they did improve with Drew Holiday as a player. Boston Celtics 9-6. They got a lot of, and it's still crazy because they still have young players. It's still like every time I talk, I'm like,
Yeah.
still young players. They got 4 people averaging double digits themselves. With Marcus Smart having a good year this year. He's so annoying on the defensive end too. He really brings a different energy. Kemba Walker's only played 4 games, but 17 points.
Little Kemba.
Jaylen Brown, 27.3 points. He's leading the team. Jason Tatum's obviously good. All very young players. Kemba's the oldest. Daniel Theis too. He's averaging 9 points a game. He's a big player. They have a bunch of guys. Another good bench. Like, they have a good bench coming off. They could use maybe another center, but they have a good bench too. And I think again another team that's just getting gelled together.
Do they still have a name?
Who?
The giant dude.
Giant. Oh, Taco Falls. Yes.
Yeah.
Taco Falls gets a little bit of playing time now too.
Does he? Good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the East is.
Jared Goff does that. Taco Fall. That's one of his audible calls.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Then you got the Indiana Pacers who just traded away. They're always going to be a blue collar team, someone that's tough to face. Sabonis is obviously good. Brogdon's having a good year too, 21.9 points. Remember when he was rookie of the year? They're going to be a tough team to go away from. They are 9-7. Once Caris LeVert is cleared to play, I think that he's going to bring a big impact. He's going to obviously start for them. They have a bunch of young players themselves. Nets are 10-8. We know all about them. We talked about them. Cleveland is 8-8. They're sticking around. I think that they might get one of the last spots in the East. I think it all depends on what we see out of Miami and Toronto is really what's going to affect. I mean, Miami's struggling, obviously, but they just ended the season in September, was it?
Yes.
They ended the season in September.
No, October.
Exactly.
Gianna was born September 22nd, and the NBA Finals was the next week.
Exactly. So, they're still they got a lot of young guys too who hadn't made the playoffs and hadn't been in that environment in a while. So they are going to take some time, no pun intended, to heat up. Hawks are another good team that are young, that is going to be exciting to watch.
And they have a veteran presence there too.
They do have a little bit of a veteran presence.
But
it's, they're, like I said, Knicks are another young team, but with a good little bit of veterans that have been around the league, have been in the, in the spots that they need to be in.
They should get rid of those veterans though.
You want them to get rid of Randall?
I can't stand Randall.
Okay. Well, he's the best player on the team right now.
Yeah. He's something.
But I mean, he is.
He's really good at free throws. You should check his free throw percentage.
The East, the MVP last year is a terrible free throw shooter. So I don't know where the league. The league is so crazy. But
on a team like the Knicks, on teams like that where you can't make mistakes, LeBron James can make mistakes.
Yeah, no, you can't make. But you know what? I've noticed that a lot. I've noticed in the last few minutes, even for sure, free throw shooters are missing free throws and giving them the chance to come back. Those last 3 spots in the East are going to be interesting going forward.
Yeah,
I do think the Nets will improve. I think the 76ers might come down a little bit, but I think that I think they'll make the playoffs. Indiana might be in that last 3 spots to look at. And I think Charlotte's going to continue to get better as well. Orlando's not a bad team. It really is up in the air in the East, but I think we need to move down to the West, where the Clippers and the Lakers are actually tied for first right now. And it's, another crazy. Yeah, I mean, New Orleans is playing terrible. The Kings are playing terrible. I know that you had a little bit of faith in the Kings to begin with this season, but they really haven't shown up. The differential in points
Mhm.
is the most out of anyone. Is the most out of any other team in their division as minus 8.8 points. That's a problem. That's a big problem. You're allowing 121 points, but you're only scoring 112. Obviously, defense is an issue. I think that they have to eventually become sellers in this. I think a lot of people are going to look at Bagley and think, all right, he had this. People thought he would be very good coming out of Duke, and he hasn't shown up. But I think people still have that. They can get a little bit of something out of him because I don't think that they're going to be able to keep him on the team. Uh, Obviously, the Lakers have not missed a beat.
No, they have not at an average age of ancient.
Right. I think and you know what? We talked about it. I think they got a little bit. I know that you disagree, but I think they got a little bit better in the offseason, too. I think Dennis Schroeder is such an addition to every team that he's on. He does all the dirty work.
Yeah, he did great for the Hawks.
He didn't do bad for the Hawks. Are you being sarcastic? Yeah, you're being sarcastic. I don't think he did bad for the Hawks. He did good for
Yeah,
OKC.
the
He
Hawks went
did
right for the championship that year.
no, but he did good. He was also like a very young player. Now he's been with New Orleans.
Yeah.
Not New Orleans.
No.
OKC.
Yep.
He was essentially Chris Paul's protege in OKC, which brings it. He's averaging 13.8 points a game. His assist numbers aren't great, but 13.8 points a game.
Well, it's just that he's not that good.
Hey,
Montrezl. He's good off the bench.
Yeah. They are also another team. 1, 2, 3, 6 players in scoring double digits for you. That helps. Another team that we didn't know how good their bench was last year, and their bench seems to be doing okay.
Right.
So they added the players that they needed. A big surprise for me is the Clippers. Clippers are playing really well too. 13-4. Obviously, they have a great.
That actually was a surprise to me.
Yeah, they did lose a couple of players.
They did. Not the important ones, but yeah, they lost a couple key pieces.
Yeah, I mean, Montrezl Harrell was a key bench player for them. I think that's
an enforcer.
Yeah, he brought a lot of energy off the bench. He did what he had to do, and losing him, I think, is tough for them. Kawhi Leonard, obviously, quiet killer. 25.9 points, but Serge Ibaka is playing incredible for them too. He's leading them in rebounds and 12.2 points a game. That's pretty good. Marcus Morris is playing good for them. They have 5 players in double digits. Lou Williams isn't really lighting it up like he usually is, but they have a couple of players. Luke Kennard. Sweet Lou. Patrick Beverly, obviously, he gets his play time. He's there to annoy. They have an okay bench. What'd you say?
He's there to annoy.
Yeah, I didn't even realize Nicholas Batum.
I'm here to annoy you.
Nicholas Batum is on the team as well. That's good for their 3-point shooting.
Yes.
It's a good team going forward. Tyrod Lue, obviously a coach who has been to the finals before and has won it, and has won it as a player. Yes. I think that, we consider him an overrated coach, but he's been there in every aspect, and he's been there in LA into the championship, different LA, but he's worked with very good players before.
Yeah.
That's a team to watch out for. Obviously, if you weren't watching out for them before, now is the time to watch out for them. Jazz, another team that had faced quite a bit of adversity last year and are coming back super duper strong. They are. They're defensively only allowing 106.1 points a game. That's pretty good in the NBA, especially going against guys like the Lakers and the Clippers. 12-4. That's a great record to start your year.
The Jazz are on heavier favorites tonight.
Who were they playing tonight?
Mavericks.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Mavericks are one of those tough teams that you don't know what team you're going to get. Mavericks are another team that, like they get those bench pieces kind of like, you know, other teams have. I think that's super important. Utah Jazz really faced quite a bit of adversity last year and are doing and coming back hot. Give it up. Rudy Gobert is shooting 60% from the field. That's insane. That's great. He's averaging 13.5 points per game, 2.7 rebounds a game. 2.7, sorry, blocks a game. Big time player. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell is great. Mike Conley is coming up for them too. Jordan Clarkson's great off the bench. You got Joe Ingles who will always give you the time that he plays. They have a bunch of no-name players though too that are coming up and playing big. Another team, 6 players that are in double digits. That helps a lot, especially during the long season, to know that if one of your team players, if one of your players are having a rough game, if Donovan Mitchell is missing a shot, you got Joe Ingles. Also, you have all those weapons on the 3-point line that they can't really, and if they play you on the 3-point line, then you got one of the best centers in the league down. So it's a good team to watch out for. 12-4 is nothing to laugh about. They are
not.
I mean, especially in this league, it's.
Can we go to Utah? Let's go to Utah.
Okay, I mean, I've if you want to, I've been to the Denver's arena, Denver Nuggets. By the way, Denver Nuggets. After we spoke about them last week, now we're in the 5th spot in the West, and they will continue to move up. I think Memphis. Yeah, it is a long season.
The Knicks will slide right back down, and the teams that we said that are going to pull it up are going to pull it up.
Houston Rockets obviously struggling 6-9. Dallas Mavericks.
They're not going to do anything this year.
Oh no, Houston's not going to. OKC.
Eric Gordon.
Yeah, it's tough. You got John Wall.
Eric Gordon was
John Wall
shit coming out of college.
Yeah, you got John Wall too, but I get what you're saying. Memphis.
I love John Wall. John Wall's one of my favorite players in the league. But what does he do for you?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Is he a great player? Yeah, but when you have a team of nobodies, and who is that?
Mm-hmm.
What's John Wall going to do for you? And John Wall is not the same John Wall that John Wall was 4 years ago.
You also got, the Memphis Grizzlies coming up, and for a team that John Morant, he's only played in 5 games. He's getting over a sprained ankle. For them to be, I believe they're rated 6 right now. They're really getting people to step up from all areas. They have a bunch of bench players that are really beginning to show themselves. That Desmond Bane guy, he's annoying, but he's good, man. He's when I was watching him versus the Nets, he was annoying, but he did what he was good. Brandon Clark's obviously a good player. You got Dylan Brooks. You have Jonathan Valanciunas. Who's the guy that they also got? I'm trying to think about. I don't know why he's not there.
Valanciunas.
What about Jared? Isn't Jared? Did he get traded? No, right? Was it Jared Jackson? He was on them, right?
Memphis?
Wasn't he on?
Yeah, he's still there.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so. Unless there was some kind of a blockbuster trade.
No, he's still there. It's just weird. He's not mentioned anywhere here. But yeah, Brandon Clark's a good player. Jonas Valanciunas is stepping up for them in the right way. Tyus Jones is playing very well. He's doing pretty well in that spot. They got a lot of young players. It's gonna be another team to watch for to see how they continue to play going forward. But good team, playing what they can play. It's gonna be interesting going forward to see how all these guys do, how all these players play. San Antonio's playing really well. It shows why Pop is one of the best, is maybe the best in the business.
Sure.
Phoenix has kind of gone down a bit. They're in the 7th. They are on a 2-game losing streak currently. Their last 10 are they're 4-6. So they're beginning to cool off a little bit from that hot start.
Right. They'll come
Raps,
back.
yeah, they'll come back. Exactly. They'll come back.
They're not a concern of mine. What are you doing?
What'd you say?
They're not a concern for me.
No.
Sorry. Virginia is picking me off.
That's all right.
30.
And Pelicans were up at 8. They've lost their last 3, and they are 2-8 in their last 10. Can't have a 10-game kind of like that. That's not going to help you continue to get better or make your way up in this league, especially with the players you got. I think that they thought that this was going to be their year to not to win, obviously, but to make it to the playoffs and actually maybe have a little bit of a deep run. I don't think so anymore. Golden State seems to be okay. After heating up again, they cooled off. They're on losing 2-game losing streak, and they're 5-5 in their last 10. Golden State Warriors 8-8. It's I don't know if they can come back. Steph Curry's playing great though. He really is.
Steph Curry's playing out of his mind.
He really is. And you know what? They got a bunch of role players that did start for them.
How that team is so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of young players, and you have to remember they didn't really play with Steph last year.
That's very true.
And
you still got no. You only have one piece of the Splash Brothers right now. So.
Right. And I mean, Andrew Wiggins isn't the best shooter. Kelly Oubre's been having such a terrible time shooting.
Andrew Wiggins is terrible.
Andrew Wiggins is struggling. Eric Pascal, though, give it up for him, man. A guy that we were like, he's probably just playing really well.
Is he the one that's marrying Steph's sister?
Huh?
Is he the one that's getting married to Steph's sister?
That's Damian Lee.
Damian Lee. Where is he?
He's on the Golden State Warriors.
Also, probably not marrying Steph's sister anymore.
No, he is. He's on the Golden State Warriors. Yeah.
I think you said he's not.
I think no, he is. He is.
Oh.
I'm saying he is. No, he's I don't even know. They got married. I think they're married.
Oh, okay, good.
But they're related to the Rivers too.
Philip Rivers?
No.
Oh, Austin Rivers.
Austin Rivers. Doc Rivers.
Phil's got a lot of kids out there, man.
Yeah, you never know. Doc Rivers' daughter is married to Seth Curry.
Oh my God.
They have a baby girl together, I believe.
No, good for them. Congratulations, guys. Very happy for you.
Whatever works.
That's good. That's good to keep that, the NBA family is
right.
Is like,
Also, Paul George dated.
What's his name and LeBron's mom?
All right. Let's not. He's going through a hard. He's going through a hard enough time as it is. He doesn't need any. It's Delonte West.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, I thought it was Mo Williams.
No. Not Mo Williams.
That wasn't a big deal. I think he just kissed her or something.
I wasn't there. I cannot confirm or deny. Cannot confirm or deny. All right, James. That leads us to the point in the show, which is a new not new segment, but a new point of the show. Who?
Actually, you gotta edit that out before we get sued.
Who? No, because you could. Okay, so you could sing a song.
Oh.
You just can't use that. Yeah.
Interesting.
God, you have me. All right. Leaves us to the point in the show where we debate or pick one team from the East, one team from the West, who's going to be our championship matchup this year in the NBA.
Okay. So right now for the East, for me, it's the Brooklyn Nets.
Of course you have to. Your word is like crap. Everything you touch turns to crap. You have to say that because you're just terrible. Because I remember there were 2 teams that you said in the NFL too. I gave you 2 teams. None of them made it.
You gotta bring this up.
I got it. I gotta bring it up. Gotta have it. Couldn't you have said any other team? Like, damn it,
I also
dude.
said at the beginning of the year, there's no way, no how, no chance in hell Tom Brady takes the
Oh
Buccaneers
yeah, we
to
both
the
said
Super
that.
Bowl.
No, we both said that. Yeah. I thought they would be 8-8.
Can we get something right so that we could like put it up as like a
Yeah.
hype thing? Like, oh
Well,
my God,
yeah.
we said it first.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things I think that we have said that probably.
I think so. I think our James is or James isn't busted real quick.
Yeah.
No chance he goes to the Saints 2 weeks later.
Went to the Saints. Yeah,
For
it's
a million-
freezing.
for a million
We're cold takes. We're not hot takes. All right, so you pick Brooklyn from the East. Why are you picking Brooklyn? Give your reasoning.
Listen, I'm taking Brooklyn because of this. I don't think anybody in the East can contend with them in the sense of scoring points. The Bucks are probably going to be your highest scoring team on the Eastern side, and
Right.
they are not going to touch. I mean, the Bucks don't have any defense anyway. And let's face it, if you get into a playoff situation, James Harden has at least been to the playoffs and won a playoff series. Kyrie has won a playoff series. Kyrie has won an NBA championship.
Right.
Kevin Durant has won NBA championships.
So,
Giannis has done nothing.
Also,
Nobody on the
also,
Bucks has done anything.
also at a young age, he was in the NBA championship
Yes.
versus a very good Heat team. Probably one of the best teams that we've ever seen in our lifetime.
Yes, exactly. And nobody on any other team in the East has that.
Also,
You
good.
guys battle tested.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And we also have to realize, and I'm not agreeing with you here because I'm not going to pick them because I think that's just would be ridiculous if I did. But I think also what people don't realize, and people are watching them and they're watching them make these mistakes, and Nets have tons of turnovers, like all the time, like, but they're learning each other. This is the first time a lot of this player, like, we actually kind of have a whole new team. There's only a couple guys from last year that actually played.
Yep.
So they're still learning. They were still learning each other, and then they had to learn a whole new team once James Harden came around. You know what I mean? Like, they had to learn this new team. So we're kind of seeing the experiment right now. We're going through the trials.
Yeah.
We're not quite at where the product is perfected yet. So I think people need to realize that, because I know that there are a lot of people who are like, well, you can't keep Harden and Kyrie both on the team. You guys aren't even playing that well with both of them. We're watching this experiment. I mean, the big 3 in Miami lost tons of games at first. You're just learning. And I'm not saying they're anywhere near the big 3 in Miami, but
They're better.
they're still I don't know about that, but they're still learning. They're still learning each other. So I understand why you say that. We are watching the experiment first, and then we have to see the results. It's like any business. You start it up, it's a learning process as you go. Exactly. So I see what you mean. All right, I'll pick my team, and then we'll both pick our teams from the West. Now, and it's just based on the team. I know they have the same coach. They've played together for a little bit longer than most teams. They're young teams. So I think they could go a little bit further. Not as many injuries. I got to go with the Boston Celtics right now. I think obviously Jason Tatum is an amazing player, and you know what? Jaylen Brown has become what a lot of people said. All right, he had an off year last year. He's not quite as good as we thought he was going to be. He's come in and he's shown that him and Jason Tatum can have a team. They're veterans now. They have a lot of. What's it?
He's Mr. UPS.
Okay. What can Brown do for you?
Yeah.
Good job. But and Brad Stevens is a great coach, and he's been at Eastern Conference Finals before, and he knows how to do this. And
he's very steady.
He's steady, and let's remember, he's still, learning again on the go. He has a new team. Danny Ainge is a great GM because he's so cold-hearted, and he can just cut anyone off at any time. That's what makes a great GM. It sucks to watch his fans, but that's what makes for, you have to be ruthless, and he is.
Yep.
So I think Boston has that kind of way that they can win. I think they're just going to continue to improve. These are young players still learning how to play, too. Jason Tatum's not even 25 yet. They're learning each other. So
Yeah.
I have to go with Boston is the team that I would say is, as of now, like probably every week we're probably going to switch our picks. But
Yes.
this week I think it's Boston.
Holy crap.
And then James, what do you got for the Western Conference? What are you feeling?
Western Conference, I got to go with Mr. Reliable.
You got to tell us who Mr. Reliable is?
Donovan Mitchell is Mr. Reliable, baby.
Oh, okay. So you think Jazz?
Yep, I'm going Jazz here.
You're going Jazz. That's an interesting pick. I think they're great.
I love them. I think they're really starting to figure it out. And I think Donovan Mitchell's really going to step up this year and smite Mr. LeBron James right out of the NBA Finals for the 30th year in a row.
All right.
I don't think LeBron gets to 10 in a row this year.
Okay. That's it. I mean, that's, an interesting take.
Hot take.
Jazz are a great team. And I think they're going to continue to get better. I am going to go with, I'm not going to, I was between the two LA teams, which I know is so ridiculous, but I got to go with the Clippers. Clippers are playing super well. Kawhi Leonard.
What? Go ahead, get your point out, and then I'll rebuttal.
All right. Kawhi Leonard is a proven champion. Not that the Lakers aren't. Kawhi Leonard's a proven champion. I think Serge Ibaka brings a good energy to that. Obviously, depending on what Paul George you get, he's a great player too. I think that what we're seeing for that LA Clippers team is a revival. They did not expect to lose to Denver. I think a lot of people, they were kind of favored to be in the more so than even the Lakers. And I think that this is kind of their revenge year, and it's going to be interesting to see how they perform moving forward, how Kawhi does, because they did go late into the playoffs, not as late as the Lakers, which is another reason why I didn't pick the Lakers, because the Lakers, I think, even though LeBron James has barely ever been, he does such a good job training his body. But I think that he really does. I mean, he's like Tom Brady. They do very good jobs. They know what their body needs.
Eat kale.
Yeah. Could never be me. But yeah, I mean, that's, that's what I think. All right, James, what do you give me your rebuttal? Because we gotta actually sign off soon.
Do we?
We do.
Yes, we do. Yeah, my rebuttal is just that I don't know. The Celtics seem a little soft to me.
Okay.
It's just something about them. It's like they're a great team, but like if somebody like smacked them in the mouth, they wouldn't know what to do.
Right.
That's my only fear with them, and that was the fear I had with them last year, and here we are.
I mean, you're definitely not wrong, but
yeah,
you're not wrong.
I'm never wrong, Deirdre. Right. Except when it comes to the Chiefs.
Except when you're wrong.
Except when I'm usually wrong. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure discussing this with you.
Off the Glass.
It's been a pleasure conducting yet another segment of Off the Glass.
Good segment. That was good.
Now get your ass watching it.
Yep.
So I can quit my regular job.
All right. And that's it for Off the Glass. We'll be back with more. Off the Glass will be a weekly show until the playoffs. Then we will be doing much more. All right, James.
For now, stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated.